beloved listeners, and welcome to Snake People at the Movies, film criticism by people who actually like film. Join us as we dive into movies we love, movies we respect, and movies we wish we could unsee. It's the podcast where we talk about growing up and living queer, nerdy, and depressed, online and at the cinema. From the kids who will never have any peace when they are done, it's Sneople at the Movies. I'm Helena.
I'm Ezra, and it's Matty's turn to be our absent 80% of our impulse control this week, as they are indisposed.
Yeah.
But you get us two chuckle fucks.
It's like...
I believe we've both had a very long week.
Yes, we've all had long weeks. This is kind of like
it's been a long week for the past... Yeah, it really kind of is. I feel like it's been a long week for 19 months.
Yeah.
Long. It's just, yeah. Now I have been a long day from how to succeed in business without really trying stuff in my head.
Fuck you, I was just getting it. And as soon as you were saying that, I was like,
it's been a long day.
Terrible. See, this is why we need Matty to stop this from happening.
Yeah, because when Matty's not here, it turns into a musical theater podcast, and we absolutely cannot have that.
Been a long. Okay, stop.
Been a long day.
I'm smacking
Did you also
my hand.
that? Yeah, I know, right? I'm mentally just like slapping myself, and I'm mentally doing the cop drama thing where somebody slaps me across the mouth and says, "Get a hold of yourself."
Also, because I'm like way off. I'm way off tune. I don't know what I'm even singing right now.
I just, that's one of those ones that, like, I always intellectually understood that I was going to get typecast as the, like, plucky and or long-suffering alto best friend in, like, the, classic musical formula. Mm-hmm. But getting handed that song for, like, a scene, like a song showcase or something was such a good, like, yeah, I just really do live here now.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's a good number.
Hate it.
I mean, it's not a bad number for that,
It's fairly fun. Whatever, catch me doing low-dose testosterone and becoming a tenor for real, and then it just being like, I'm a high tenor young male love interest part, you say.
Yes.
Hello.
Now you can
What can I do for you?
Brotherhood of Man.
Yeah.
Or The Company Way. That's not a... Wait, is that a tenor or is that a... Surely it is.
I can't remember. I have not paid... I like, have seen, or, like... No, I have seen How to Succeed in Business, but it's been a really long time and I don't remember very much about it. I was thinking the other day about how, like, I just, like, at some point, kind of without noticing, just stopped paying attention to, like, contemporary musical theater, probably about, like, 7 or 8 years ago now. And so, I don't know, it's just, like, shit keeps happening. I mean, obviously, How to Succeed in Business is, like, really old.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know, people bring things up occasionally, and I'm like...
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm a dad rock guy, but about musical theater.
Yeah, I've had to explain to, like, 5 or 10 different... Not 5. Like, 2 different people in the past few weeks that, like, I'm kind of a snob about musical theater. I'm not really that hip to, like, a lot of the new stuff that's been happening. I know what Be More Chill is, and I think it's great. I think that Hadestown is great. I think that there's probably some other ones in there that are good. I still haven't listened to Natasha and Pierre and the Comet of 1812, and I think I really want to, because everybody whose opinion I trust has spoken very highly of the music in it, so, like, I want to listen to that. But I'm just, like... I'm so very weary of movies and Disney movies, especially, just, like, getting rehashed and recycled and adapted into musical theater. Like, we're not all Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King. Like,
no,
it's not gonna work for everybody, and it also just is, like, exhausting. And I'm also just channeling my very, very good friend, Steven Sondheim, who is also, like, has stated multiple times that he's very weary of a lot of the new trends in musical theater, and I have to agree with him. Also, Dear Evan Hansen is annoying. I'm sorry.
I was literally just about to say, like, Dear Evan Hansen, like, okay, Waiting Through a Window or whatever, out of context, is an excellent song.
Yeah.
And I recognize that many musicals having 5 good songs is a fucking achievement, because it's really hard to write good musical theater. Dear Evan Hansen sucks. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Why am I apologizing? Dear Evan Hansen sucks.
It's also like, we have this
if I don't care if people come after me on Twitter for that. I hate it. I don't like Ben Platt. Oops.
He's fine.
I don't find him, I'm sorry, he's fine, but I just do not find him appealing.
Yeah.
He reminds me, I don't know, maybe I have some sort of fucking, no, it's not even just like internalized like hatred of Nebuchadnezzar Jewish men or something dumb like that. Because I love Nebuchadnezzar Jewish men and I'm going to grow up to be one. He just, I don't know, he's like fine.
Yeah.
He's fine. I just hate Dear Evan Hansen so much that it kind of ruined Ben Platt for me.
Yeah, oops. I think that happens. I also just like...
I liked that show more when I didn't know anything about it and assumed it was about a gay kid.
Yeah. I think a couple of things about it bother me. One, people are going to be talking it for like for as long as it takes for it to come out and people to dunk on it and or love it. And I just grow very weary of that every time a new musical comes out that I don't think is... that I either like don't think is very good, or B is like not a good adaptation of musical, which is, I experienced both of those emotions at the same time when The Prom came out last year, and I was like, and I have nothing really against Prom the show very much. I just don't really like it. I just don't like the music very much. But the movie was truly, truly a sight, and I just I like musicals and I want there to be good musical adaptations, and then it makes me so frustrated when a mediocre, in my personal opinion, musical gets adapted, or a musical gets adapted into a mediocre adaptation, and then people are like, see, this is why musicals suck, and I'm like, I really just need you to stop talking to me and my son.
I'm gonna be real here, like, deep down. I don't actually need musicals to get adapted for the screen at all.
No.
I want you to put a camera in a good spot I just want a decently filmed
pro shot,
like, stage production. Yeah. I don't need to see a movie of the thing. I want to see a video of the... I think as I, like, get older, I'm just like, you know what? I used to just twist myself into fucking knots over adaptations of musicals that I had a lot of strong feelings about, and adaptational choices, and the pacing differences between film and stage, and all of this stuff, and I'm like, I have come down on the, can we just not fucking do it at all?
Yeah. I part of what bothers me...
Either write a movie to be a musical without, like, a stage, just make a fucking movie that is a musical and just, like, write or pick songs for it. Jukebox musicals can be good. Mostly they're not, but they can be good. And then just figure out the rights to film the thing and let me buy a DVD of it. Catch me. I gotta make sure I don't accidentally buy a region DVD that I can't play of the Crucible with not the Crucible, Uncle Vanya with Toby Jones that they just did a DVD of, and I have open on, like, Amazon UK, and I'm like, oh fuck, am I gonna be able to watch this?
Shit. Yeah, I think, like,
anyway, sorry.
No, I think, my biggest issue, not my biggest issue, like, my other issue is, like, well, my other issue with Dear Evan Hansen is that Next to Normal is a better musical about mental health anyway, fuck you, and didn't win a Tony, fuck you, And second thing is that...
Still cannot believe that Next to Normal didn't win a fucking Tony.
Yeah, it drives me insane. I mean, I'll have to double check that just to make sure I'm being accurate, but I'm pretty sure it didn't, and that's insane making. Also, the thing about it
my
being
ass
adapted...
and won at Perry Awards.
What did win at? I'll look at it later.
I don't know.
The thing that, like...
This doesn't need to become the Tonys episode.
No, it won't be. The thing that, like... adapting musicals into movies, I probably talked about this before, that everybody acts like it's now we have the definitive version of it, which with something like Dear Evan Hansen, I'm like, okay, that doesn't I have no stake in this. But when people, like non-theater people or non-musical people who will only go and see a musical if it's a movie because they don't go and see theater, will act like, Les Mis has now finally been adapted into a film. Now we have the definitive version of it, and I can definitively say that it sucks. And it's like, I don't really think that this is the definitive version of it, and I don't think that just because we have a big movie adaptation that is static and never changing, that this is somehow the definitive thing of this thing that's been around since the 80s and has been produced all over the world. I don't think that we can say that this version is the definitive one, especially since it's not very good. Oh, God.
Oh,
anyway.
Man. I my coworker was, like, what sort of like, what are you doing tonight or this weekend or whatever? And they're like, me and my girlfriend are watching Les Mis. And I, without missing a beat, just texted back, fucking tell Hadley Fraser I said hi. And Ruby's like, cool, I will. And then we saw each other again at work, and I was like, wait, did your girlfriend just immediately instantly know who I was talking about? And they're like, yeah, no, that's just Mel. And I was like, cool. And then I just I had to claw my brain back out of the pit.
Yeah.
Of my fucking seething morass of just god awful feelings about the fucking Les Mis movie.
Yeah.
We gotta fucking no. We
can't do this.
This is not the subject of this episode. We cannot do this.
I'm reading the book right now. I literally cannot do this. God damn it. Nice. What have we seen?
What have we seen? Yeah, Helena, let's save us from ourselves.
Okay. Thank you, Matty, for taking away all the brain cells tonight. I rewatched Waiting for Guffman the other night because, it's a comfort movie.
Because it's good?
It's a good comfort movie.
Because Waiting for Guffman is good?
Because Waiting for Guffman is good, and I like watching other people do, bad theater for a little while. It makes me feel good inside. Doing bad theater on purpose. I watched Big Hero 6, it's that Disney movie that came out a few years ago, because, I'm slowly working my way, through a Disney Plus with stuff I haven't seen yet, and, I thought it was fine. James Cromwell is in it, that's cool. Alan Tudyk is in it, that's cool. I was noticing a lot of very similar story beats between the plot of that movie and the plot of The Iron Giant, to the point where I was like, okay, this is exactly what happens in The Iron Giant, and I just feel like The Iron Giant did it better. But there are some nice things in there. It wasn't all bad. There's some really nice animation. And the robot's very cute. The single
thing I remember from that. The robot is very cute. The single thing I saw that movie in a theater. I remember basically nothing from it. Mm-hmm. The only thing I remember is the hairy baby thing, which I still will. I will pick up cats and do that.
Because that's
only relic of that movie in my head.
Yeah,
because they are. They're hairy babies, and we love them.
They're beautiful. Perfect. Yeah, it was enjoyable. I don't think I'll ever revisit it. It's probably T.J. Miller's least offensive cinematic contribution.
Fair.
Which is, good for him, I guess. He sucks, but good for him. Yeah, and the other movie that I've watched since then is Pink Flamingos. Which is on the Criterion Channel it's been on the Criterion Channel for a while, I think, but they're doing a feature on John Waters movies this month for Pride Month. So I watched Pink Flamingos.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yes. It was such a good time. It was disgusting and awful and great. At the end of the movie, I literally did almost gag a couple of times. No, I did gag a couple of times at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like,
Sounds about right.
I kind of like that because, at least it was a reaction, and like I didn't feel like I was attacked in any way by that, or like it was a bad feeling. Like, it's not a pleasant feeling to gag while watching a movie, but I did, like, afterwards I was like, hell yeah. They did that.
Yeah, no, there was a weird feeling of like, at least you felt something.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, that movie did elicit a reaction, which cannot be said of many of the fucking things that I feel like I've watched in the last few years. Anyway.
No, it's a good movie. Divine is a queen. We love her. Just absolutely fabulous. The best clothes. The best clothes. Best makeup. Best hair. Fantastic.
Delightful
Performance from Ming Stoll, who is also, of course, in But I'm a Cheerleader. Just real fucked up, and definitely, like, if you've got your own thing that you're not so good with on film, check and see on Does the Dog Die? Like, what one of the many things that they do in this movie is going to be not good for me to watch, and just have a little peek. Like, it's not. I feel like it's not going to ruin the movie at all, because the plot of the movie is not really the point. So I think that you'll be fine looking that up. Yeah, all of John Waters' movies, like that, and Multiple Maniacs and Female Trouble, etc., they're all on Criterion Channel for Pride Month. So if you have the means, I highly recommend diving into that. They're disgusting and great. I've also been watching a lot of
my fucked up queer ass feels pretty represented by having them being like, hey, you know what we're doing for fucking Pride Month? John Waters. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's right.
That's exactly how it should be.
As a queer who wants to make people uncomfortable.
I would also like to be the queen of filth. I have been watching also a lot of TNG, Next Generation, Star Trek Next Generation. I've been watching a little bit of Deep Space Nine, a little bit of Supernatural, and I started watching Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency with my friend Sage because...
Oh, hell yeah.
I met up with them a few weeks ago. We hadn't seen each other in about 6 years. And we talked for like 3 hours straight about everything.
Nice.
But because Sage is also a theater person, so we were talking about theater. And we got on the topic of Sam Barnett and how much we love Sam Barnett. And they were like, oh my god, have you watched Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency yet? I was like, no, I keep meaning to. Like, it's on my list. And they're like, okay, I want to watch it with you. Because they're like big
hell yeah.
Dirk Gently fan. So we've been watching it. That's what I've been using your Hulu account for.
Oh, good. That's what it's there for.
Exactly. Because they tried streaming it for me on their own, like, I think they have the DVD of it, but there was like just a lag,
internet bad.
So I was like, I want to watch it. It's delightful. I fucking love him so much, and Elijah Wood is also great, and I'm very, very excited to see where this incomprehensible show goes. Very, very excited for that.
I'm excited to hear more about it because it's been on my list for a gajillion years.
Yeah, it's very, very charming. So. The other night I watched Sherlock is Garbage and Here's Why again because, I don't know, I just missed her. It's been a long time and I just missed her. And it was good. Yeah. It was a good night. I was alone cackling in my room late at night watching once again this man tear down Sherlock BBC. Yeah. That's what I've seen.
It's just real satisfying to watch this man nail his 95 theses to fucking Stephen Moffat's IRL door.
I think of you every single time he starts talking about Jekyll, and getting into that, because you're one of the only people...
I love that this is my legacy.
You're one of the only real life people I know besides this guy who has actually watched that show willingly. So every time he starts talking about, she's like, let's talk about Jekyll. I'm like, yes! Thinking of Ezra.
I have done... That is one of the more egregious crimes in a long list of things that I have watched, because some particular actor who I was, like, briefly blazingly horny about had made some really, really dumb decisions in their career, and I was just like, for some reason, I support you.
Yeah, I did that in college for sure with David Tennant and James McAvoy and Lee Pace. I mean, I watched Russell T Davies' Casanova miniseries with David Tennant. Like, don't even.
I mean, so did I.
Okay,
like,
so you know,
we Helena, we are sitting in this pit drinking tea.
Okay, good, thank you. Tom Burke is in it. What do you want from me? Come on.
Yeah, he is.
Anyway, I also finished ranking all of my favorite Star Trek The Original Series episodes, but that can be touched upon later.
You should tweet that.
I should. What have you seen?
Yeah, check out people at people_snake on Twitter to get Helena's extremely correct opinions ranking Star Trek The Original Series episodes. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, as anybody who follows me on Twitter fucking knows, I bought a DVD of City of Bones. Yes, the fucking Cassandra Clare novel, terrible movie adaptation that I just love. Mm-hmm. Is it good? Fuck no. Have I watched it like 6 times? Yes! It is inexplicably my happy place.
Good.
So I watched that and live texted it to Leia. And it was mostly me complaining about the fact that apparently being bisexual means you can be attracted to 2 people at a time, and currently it's my girlfriend and Jared Harris.
I love that for you.
You know, if anybody with a fucking psych degree is listening to this, I'm sure you're having some sort of fucking field day. Go nuts. No, I don't understand it either. Yeah, I've been watching, so I started, well, and on the same note, I started watching The Terror, finally,
yes.
Which is an extremely me television show, being that it is 129 mostly British dudes on a boat dying of various things by inches stuck in the pack ice in the Arctic Circle. I hate that is, like, anybody who knows me thinks, Ezra's gonna love this. Anyway.
I'm very excited to watch that show soon.
It is exactly as good as everybody says it is. It deserves the, like, small but deeply intense fandom that it has. And it is... The only way I can describe it is that it has taken up... It has filled the holes that Hannibal left in my life. Not because the two are particularly similar, but they give me something to chew on in the same way, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I'm enjoying the shit out of that.
I haven't seen it, from what I did read the book, and I think one of the very delicious things about the book is that there's so many different character dynamics to play with that if you're not into, like, one thing, you could be into this thing. Plus, there's, like, high-level mystery going on, which I deeply enjoy. Anyway.
It's just good shit. It's just good shit.
Yeah.
I am plugging my way through the audiobook of Fellowship of the Ring, which has been just a really interesting experience because I hadn't read it since I was, like, a teenager. And I have consumed a lot of I've read a fuckload of books between then and now, but I also sort of, at some point, I realized that I kind of stopped reading that kind of... I used to read a lot of very Tolkien-inspired high fantasy, and at some point I stopped. And so the narrative style is just kind of different than what has been living in my head for the better part of, 10 years.
Sure.
And it's it's not bad, it's just very different. So that's been interesting, especially since I watched the film of Fellowship of the Ring, in the middle of, 2 days ago, in the middle of fucking rereading the book, and was just wow. I think which just more than ever I am in awe of the confidence behind the adaptational choices that Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens, and Peter Jackson made, because it's the same story, more or less. It has some different politics, but it's the same thing. But it's just put together really differently. And it's I can't imagine the books being any different than the way that they are, but I also can't imagine the movies being laid out in being sort of built on top of one another in any way other than the way that they are.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it just took just an unbelievable amount of work, but also they're very confident adaptational choices, and they fucking work out.
Yeah.
The season 2 trailer for Star Trek Picard dropped, and every single thought I had blanked out of my head for 7 hours. John DeLacy fucking said, Mon Capitaine, and I just died. Cause I was he's just so delighted.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die. It's gonna kill me. Also, I can't believe that Star Trek Picard is the first season was a season-long meditation on guess what Jean-Luc Picard loves men, Data specifically. And they're season 2 of Star Trek Picard is back. Guess what? Jean-Luc Picard loves men. Specifically Q.
Yeah. Picard is not, literally has not had any romance with a woman on this show. It's just dad and, your friends, your male friends who maybe you were in, kind of in love with in a little bit of way,
and it's the whole first season of Star Trek Picard is about how he's been in love. He's been, just in love with Data, who's been dead for a really long time. Anyway, it's just a whole fight. Watch Star Trek Picard. I have a lot of feelings about it. I understand that some people, aren't into it, but I don't care.
I don't know. To each their own. I don't
have any fucking critical faculties about that show, and I don't care to develop any.
Do I. I mean, it
makes me happy.
I definitely feel, to me, here's what I will say, because I do have a fondness for Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard. To me, I feel Star Trek Picard is actually, in many ways, a stronger show than Star Trek Discovery, because I feel in an interesting mirror to what I feel Next Generation and Deep Space Nine were dealing with in the 90s, where I feel Deep Space Nine found its footing earlier on, where I think that Picard knew what it was about first. To me, the first season of Picard has a very, very strong thematic arc that I think Discovery had in the first season, and then has kind of been veering a little bit all over the place with that. Sometimes into delightful territory, but Picard, I was okay, this is very, very clearly about, I think it's really interesting to just make a whole season about Picard's relationship and Star Trek in general, its relationship with artificial intelligence and what that means for Picard, who has, on one hand, a very, deep and powerful friendship with Data, who is now dead, and spoilers for Star Trek Nemesis, and also has this trauma from being kidnapped and converted, and then escaping and fighting the Borg. And what happens if we look at both of those things and sort of reevaluate them? And having Hugh come back, I am only so strong. I can't I can't be critical of anything that my dear Fred Hugh is in.
He's so good.
So good. Anyway.
He was so good in the show, and he's so good anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just new Star Trek. I mean, there's a reason that I continue to give CBS my money every month, and it is literally so I can make people watch Discovery and Picard with me, because I love these shows.
And we're very grateful.
Yes. And my just last thing is, I really am for real reading. Going back and listening to the Fellowship audiobook has been a good way to ease me back into fucking Tolkienese. Because I really am for real reading Children of Húrin, because I really am for real reading the fucking Silmarillion. And I can tell that it's time for me to get back into this shit, because I went on a, like, Tolkien Gateway, like, fan wiki binge, just reading a shitload of stuff about the fall of Númenor and just clicking on links and, like, bopping around, because I made a bunch of jokes about fucking the forging of the Silmarils and the, like, the Douglas Adams line that's like, you know, X many billions of years ago the universe was created. Some people, like, many people consider this to have been a bad decision or whatever.
Yeah.
I get it wrong every time, but it's just every time the fucking Silmarils come up, I'm like, yeah. And then this idiot made the Silmarils. Many people consider this to have been a bad decision.
Yeah.
Hashtag Summer of Silm. Check it out. Join me. I don't know. Come yell at me about your favorite Silmarillion ships. I won't know who anybody is yet.
I
Send me your hot Sauron fan art. That's where it is. Send me your hot Sauron fan art.
Oh god. I was at the library the other day looking for new books to read, as one does at the library. And there's like a spinner rack that they have there at the branch nearest my house that has like a lot of like classics, and that's where I picked out all of the 3 books that I got last time I was there. And I saw some there, and I was like, no, I can't. Maybe. And I opened it and I flipped through, and I was like, no, I can't do this right now. And I tried.
Join me, Helena.
I tried reading a paragraph, and I was like, holy fuck, no, I can't do this right now. Because I'm reading Les Miserables right now, and like that is enough. Like, I feel like if there's a fantasy equivalent of Les Mis, you know what it is. So I can't do twice that at once. I think that I will die.
Okay, no, that's legitimate.
Soon, though. Soon.
Someday.
Okay.
I guess this episode has a subject. This is just like all of our episodes here on Sneople at the movies. It's just between 2 and 3 friends having a conversation. I guess one of us could do the subject by ourselves, but then it would be a monologue, not a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. And so, this is a terrible segue. I don't care.
For the topic?
I mean, I guess we could say... I guess we could say, like, we've kind of... Both of us have had, like, adaptations and also revisitings of classic sci-fi fantasy stories and, IPs on the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically, Helena has some thoughts... about Mr. JJ Abrams.
Yeah.
JJ Abrams, turn on your location. I just want to talk.
I don't want to talk to him, but, like...
I don't actually want to talk to him. Part of me wants to be like, what were you doing? But I know I'm not going to like the answers.
Yeah, I have a problem where sometimes I talk out loud to myself about... like,
Fair.
About, like... bullshit. And so I was thinking out loud to myself about Star Trek the other day, and that's when I knew, it's like, okay, Helena, you have something on your chest that you clearly need to get off here. I don't know. I have Star Trek on the brain, as I always do, but more so recently because I've been watching it. And I was just thinking about, I think how I got there was I was thinking about Kirk's character and how the idea of that, there's that wonderful essay called Kirk Drift, which I should try and tweet out.
Yeah.
That's about...
Yeah, here, I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, I definitely have a link to it somewhere in my Google Notes. because it was in my drafts in my work email from my last job for years, so I could read it at any time. And then I moved it when I left.
I love how your brain works.
Thank you. But the Kirk Drift essay was about how the idea of Kirk's character slowly like changing over the years, slowly like through the movie adaptations, and then and like then through the modern like reboot, and now like the cultural perception of Kirk as a character is very different from the perception of him like how he was actually written on the show. Not like super.
I think I've got it
super
for you.
different. Oh, I love you. Thank you.
I got you, baby.
Yes, that's it. I love it because it has for some reason it has the screen grab is Spock holding that fucked up dog with a horn on his head from
it's because one of the sections is entitled "The Unicorn Dog and the Wasp: The Uneasy Place of Jewish Masculinity in Popular Memory."
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
there
the
we
best
go.
part.
Anyway.
That's where they talk about Conscious of the King, which is partly why Conscious of the King is one of my favorite episodes. Anyway, Kirk's character, and you know, I feel like, and I like the first reboot movie. I do. I have, you know,
it doesn't in my head it doesn't really have anything to do with Star Trek, but I like it.
Yes, exactly. Like I appreciate it for getting me back into Star Trek. It makes me cry every time I watch it. I love it. Spock is there, great, fantastic, really good casting, good performances. The interpretation of Kirk's character in that, like, contributing to this idea of him as kind of a horn dog is like, I just don't see it as being entirely accurate. And I don't want to be like, you know, Kirk never kissed a woman before in his life on the show, because that's obviously not true. It's more nuanced than that, in the same way that, like, and I think this argument is, or this point is raised in the Kirk Drift essay as well, that people always like, oh, the women in Star Trek with the short skirts and everything, and it's like, well, actually, it's because mini skirts back then were seen as being really liberating and progressive, actually, for women to wear, so that was kind of why they wore them on the show. It wasn't just to sexualize them, but this kind of bell curve of progress where we automatically think that any Star Trek that happens later is automatically going to be more progressive, and the original series is the one that has all of the bad stuff. And, like, there's some bad stuff on that show, don't get me wrong. There's some questionable things on some episodes of the original series. But I think it's a mistake to say that, like, the further along we go in time... in a linear sense, the more progressive we're going to get. Like, it's a bell curve, you know? So I guess I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about JJ Abrams and how he kind of did one good movie and then he dipped. And because he did Star Trek, and he was never, in his own words, in his own admission, never really a Star Trek fan to begin with. He was a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
So the new Star Trek has, like, again, like as you kind of said, it's separate from Star Trek in my mind in some sense, because it doesn't really at times feel entirely like Star Trek, and I think that's partly because JJ Abrams was like, I like Star Wars. Boop. I'll put a little bit of that in there, and it's not bad necessarily. It's just sometimes not always Star Trek. And there are some of the other movies that I think are like the First Contact that I love that can also be guilty of that as well. But he kind of did that one movie, and then he did Star Trek Into Darkness, which is just bad. Like, I don't care what
Star Trek Into Darkness really sucks.
It really sucks. Not only is it, like, it's just so many levels. Not only is it insulting to, I think, the legacy of what I think is arguably the best Star Trek movie, and a movie that succeeded because of making strong decisions. This is a movie that makes the same decisions and says, obviously, if we make those decisions twice but reverse them, it'll have the same gravitas and the same meaning. And it's like, that isn't how it works. And also, I know Ricardo Montalban was not the right ethnicity to begin with, but casting Benedict Cumberbatch as a superhuman who's supposed to be superior, like intellectually and physically superior, is just so... When he was originally played by a Mexican actor who was meant to be playing someone of like Indian descent, is just so wrong in so many ways. I just can't even explain it to you.
Hey Helena, you know what I just realized right now in 2021?
What?
Man, the fucking reason that fucking Doctor Strange pisses me off so much is that he is functionally playing the same goddamn character from fucking Into Darkness.
Jesus
Sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
God, I'm glad I've never seen that, because that would just make me so angry. And that's another time when he's taken
Dr.
away
Strangle.
a role from somebody like, I don't know, Oded Fair, who would have been fantastic in the role. Anyway, God, so many problems. And then he left and didn't do another Star Trek movie, and then Justin Lin, I believe, did Star Trek Beyond, and that was, like, good. Like, it was nice and sweet. And I was just realizing, like, he did the same thing with Star Wars. Because he did a good movie, which I think, like, Force Awakens, I thought was a good movie.
It was, like, fine.
And then he left to do whatever. I don't know what he was doing at the time. And then Rian Johnson came in and he's like, here's something. And it was like, okay. And I feel like Last Jedi, you know, I am of the opinion with Last Jedi that, you know, I don't think it's deserving of the wild praise it got, and I also don't think it was deserving of the intense hatred that it got. I think it is fine. I think it has some issues. At least it was about something. At least it was trying to be about something and was trying to do something different. I respect it for that, if for, you know, a few other things and little else. So then Rian Johnson comes in and he makes this thing that people are like, no, I hate this. Then JJ Abrams comes back and he's like, I have something for you. I hope you like it. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be or what it's trying to say, except that, oh, don't we all love Star Wars?
Shout out to the person who called it, I believe, a filmed feature, like a feature film length notes app apology because somebody fucked up and let them release a movie that had a theme. I'm looking at JJ Abrams' directorial credits. And they are Mission Impossible 3, which I actually like.
I haven't seen it, so
but I have a weird soft spot for the Mission. I have a weird soft spot for the Mission Impossible movies.
Sure.
I mostly like the later ones that have Simon Pegg in them. I don't know. I just kind of like them.
Yeah.
Star Trek, 2009. Super 8,
right,
which I didn't see. A lot of people like that movie, right?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Star Trek Into Darkness, Star Wars The Force Awakens, and Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. He's produced
he worked on Lost for a long time.
A lot of stuff.
I mean, Alias.
Yeah, and so Alias, Lost, he wrote some episodes. He was like one of the creators of Fringe. He was an executive producer on Person of Interest. You know, I don't know. I'm specifically looking at the man's fucking directorial credits.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you get when you hire this guy?
It's a really good question.
What do people... And, like, I don't know. I'm like, I can't figure out if it's, like, is it the aesthetic? Is it, like, some sense of, like... Because everything on this list, except Super 8, is either a sequel or a continuation of an existing property. And they're all fine to bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it 'cause he's a safe option? Or is it, I'm just like, man, this guy just must be really good at, like, the business of making movies.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, like, fine.
Yeah.
It's good that there are people who are good at the business of making movies, but, like, because in my head, he's produced a number of films that I just, like, fucking thought that he made, because I don't care about JJ Abrams.
Yeah.
And the more times I go back to Star Trek 2009, the more I realize that the whole fucking thing looks like the inside of an Apple store. And it kind of makes me want to die.
Yeah. Like, I know, there's something about...
But, like, Cloverfield. I fucking thought that he directed Cloverfield because I don't pay attention to this shit, apparently. No, that's somebody else.
And, like,
this is, I don't, okay, Armageddon, that's not the movie that I thought it was. I just mixed up Armageddon and Independence Day, 2 films which I have never seen. I just, literally, what do you get?
Yeah.
When you hire JJ Abrams? Yeah. I think what you get is an ability to... I think somebody looks at his movies and thinks, someone who can, like... Fuck, what's the word I'm looking for? Imitate but update. Because, like, Super 8 is very much, like, a precursor to the fucking nostalgia fetish for, like, 80s shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of a kids on bikes type movie. Like,
definitely,
you know,
heavily influenced by Spielberg. Like,
E.T., it's like, heavily influenced by E.T. and Stand By Me and The Goonies and, like, Spielberg movies, which I have not seen Super 8. I'm not gonna, because I don't care. But also, like, I just... What do you get?
Yeah, I feel like you
get... And
get...
how do we communicate en masse that whatever it is you do get, it just kind of sucks.
And I part of me feels like...
And even if you like it in the moment, I'm so sorry, I keep cutting you off.
You're totally fine.
It has no staying power.
Yeah.
None of his movie, they fall apart when you watch them over, like, with the exception of Star Trek 2009, which I think is mostly, like, a personal nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've watched that movie a shitload of... But, I would like to note, 1, the more times I rewatch that movie, the less I like it. And 2, the more I realize that what I really like is Leonard Nimoy. I mean, and, like, I love performances in it. Like, I like some of the actors. But the actual movie itself, like, gets worse the more I watch it.
Yeah. I feel especially...
I'm so sorry, I cut you off 5 times.
You weren't done. I think, like, especially for me, and I have so many thoughts on the thought of, like, Star Trek 2009 too. I feel like after, like, going to something like Wrath of Khan, or even something like First Contact, which I think, like, I have a lot of nostalgia for, and then I elevate it in my mind to a certain degree, but I think is still a really good movie, actually. In going from that and then going to Star Trek 2009, I always feel like something is lost a little bit. I still do enjoy it, and I still have a fondness for it. And I really like the performances. But you're right. There's something that, especially in comparison, is just, for me, not there. And I don't want to lay the entire, like, Wrath of Khan, so to speak, the entire Wrath of Sneople onto JJ Abrams' shoulders alone. I feel like I don't secondary.
I'm gonna be real here. Helena. 1, he's never gonna fucking hear this. 2, he's a grown man. He can take it. 3, he has a lot of money. He can take.
I know he can take it. I'm sure he can take it. I feel like, in the case of Star Wars especially, I definitely feel like there was some pressure to not to say that like he didn't get to do what he wanted to do. He probably did. I just feel like, knowing what I know about Solo, the Star Wars spin-off Solo with Alden Ehrenreich, and
Solo,
I just
a
feel...
Star Wars story. Jesus, I hate that thing
Yeah.
that they're doing.
I feel like, knowing the story about that, and knowing that Phil Lord and Christopher Miller were fired off of it, and they hired Ron Howard to direct instead, which to me, maybe this is not the same for everybody, but to me, when you hire Ron Howard to direct a film, especially after you fired somebody else, that to me reads, we want to play it safe. Especially since, like, what they essentially fired Phil Lord and Christopher Miller over was, like, doing improv with the actors. Like, nothing actually serious. Yeah. So to me, I feel like that's how you kind of get with JJ Abrams in a sense, is I think that, and I'm not saying that it was a complete and total success, Last Jedi, but at least hiring somebody, as much as I enjoy his movies, but I am critical of Rian Johnson's particular style, just because sometimes I feel like it is very self-conscious. I still, at least Brick, Knives Out, Brothers Bloom, Last Jedi, at least to me, he has a recognizable style. I think it is, and he has a vision, and he has things that he clearly enjoys doing. I get that. It's not always for me. Like, it's for me to varying degrees, but I respect that.
He has a discernible directorial sensibility.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like JJ Abrams, on a certain level, makes movies to spec.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like hiring him as a safe, or bringing him back anyway, is a safe choice. And I feel there's always a certain element that when you are making a movie with a company like Disney that just wants to make money at this point, they don't want to take any risks.
No, of course not.
That hiring him back and saying, like, I think that the thing is, we try to please everybody, and in trying to please everybody, we please nobody. Because, or, I feel like very few people actually enjoyed Rise of Skywalker, but I feel there were some people, I saw it at midnight. I feel like there were probably some people in that audience who got something out of it. I think that you try to please everybody, which ends up being the people who are going to come back no matter how badly you fuck up, which to me is like, okay, that's the diehard Star Wars fans who, even if they don't like what you do, are probably still going to come back, or in some weird twisted way
called out,
because, like, I mean, that's me for Star Trek, I like, or at least in some twisted way.
I just also am like, I sure fucking did go see Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, like, at, 11 p.m. or whatever, the night that it opened. Yeah, man. I just also forgot what happened in Star Wars Rise of Skywalker.
I was too busy being miserable.
30 minutes before the end of the movie.
That's because fucking nothing happened. That's because nothing happened.
I mean, it's true. I literally had forgotten the beginning of that movie by the time it ended.
Palpatine's back, I guess. Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter, fucking whatever.
I remembered two things from this movie. One was Sheev Palpatine fucks, which then it turned out that the real truth was even more anodyne. And two, nothing else matters because Wedge Antilles was there. Yeah. I don't need to go on this rant again.
There was a big battle on top of a thing.
JJ Abrams has given I just spent a lot of time dunking on JJ Abrams. On the other hand, the man has given me personally, or like me and my friend Jay and like 5 other people on the internet who are the fucking Wedge Antilles defense squad. Seriously, try insulting Wedge Antilles on Twitter. We will legitimately, well, mostly we'll bitch about you on our locked accounts, but still.
I mean, yeah, that's all.
Wedge cameo.
I remember
that was for me. He did that for me.
I remember how excited Matty was when that happened. I remember when they thought that Chewie had died and Rey activated her magical lightning powers, and I was like, no, because I knew exactly where it was going. Stupid. And then I remember anticipating the fucking Rey and Kylo kiss, and just being like, I think that I would kind of like a little weirdly elated about it, because I was like, at least something is that stupid is happening. Like, something stupid in, like, a good way, not something stupid in a pointless way that's gonna make some people in this theater happy. And Matty and I sitting next to each other were just like, no, don't kiss, don't kiss, don't kiss.
Bless. I'm gonna tie back into our previous episode on summer blockbusters and the thing where nobody fucks in them anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean, objectively, I guess, like, canonically, people do fuck in JJ Abrams movies. Like, there is, like, filmic evidence that these characters, like, have sex with each other. Mm-hmm. Boy, it does not feel like it.
No, it
like,
don't.
Basically, all of these movies are, like, deeply, deeply unhorny.
I feel there's a stronger sense that somebody is gonna bone down in fucking the Enterprise incident than I do in any of the JJ Abrams Star Trek movies. Because guess what?
Helena Fisher Wells, voice of a generation.
It's such a horny episode. It's so horny. Yeah. For what?
Yeah.
I that's what I love that.
People are like, Star Trek Next Generation is the NPR of Star Trek, and I'm like, and yet more people fuck on that show.
Yeah.
Like, there is fuck energy to that show.
There is energy. There's that energy.
That show lets Patrick Stewart have fuck energy.
Yeah.
Which, like, he just does, because I'm like, look, wake up, people, Patrick Stewart is hot.
Wake up. I literally, like, it's been such a ride for me, because obviously I grew up with Patrick Stewart being, like, a father figure to me, specifically with him as Picard, and then I literally, like, the episode that I watched the other night was such a wild ride, because it was, like, the final mission, which is, like, Wesley's last episode, which is full on Dad Picard, and then after that it was, like, The Devil's Due, which is just about, like, this thing that we're led to believe is an omnipotent entity, but isn't really, and Picard is wise to her the whole time, and she, like, literally is just horny for Picard the instant that she meets him, and is, like, down to clown, and basically makes him an offer, like, Picard tells her, I can prove to you that you are not actually the devil, and I, like, in court, I will challenge you in a court to this, with Data as the judge, which is perfect. And she's like, all right, cool, but if I win, then she basically is like, if I win, then you get to be my sex slave forever. And I'm like, yeah, damn, like, Picard is hot, huh? That's really something. And he is, like, he's just sexy, get over it.
There's so many times where whoever the sort of, like, guest, like, star of the week, like, fucking transports onto the Enterprise, fucking sees Jean-Luc Picard and is like, I'm gonna go where probably plenty of people have gone before.
One thing that I really appreciate.
Anyway, this
is a good, like, I think.
Wrote your sci-fi fuck. This is all I have to say. Just let your sci-fi fuck.
Let it fuck. I think two last thoughts on this before we transition briefly into Supernatural. I feel like, something that I really appreciate on that note about all of, like, Star Trek, as we're saying, like, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, in its own special way, and original series, is that they are very horny, but it's not, like, horny in that we let Chris Pine get shirtless and be, like, on top of a green woman for 30 seconds, and it's like, ooh, sexy. It's like, we're gonna get the Ferengis in there, we're gonna get the Klingons in there, we're gonna get the Goo Man in there. There's an entire episode about Beverly, like, fucking a ghost, in Next Generation. I mean, it's infamous, but, you know, there's, like, people are horny on Star Trek, and they're weird about it. Like, they're weird.
Yeah.
And I really,
that's
why it's sexier.
People, like, want to fuck aliens. Like, humans want to fuck non-human species, and it, you know what? It paints a real feeling picture of a society that has been, you know, galaxy spanning and multi-species for, you know, centuries. Yeah. This is just people are used to their dating pool including people of many species.
Mm-hmm.
And, like,
yeah, Deep Space Nine is especially delicious for that.
You meet Klingons, and, like, Klingons have, like, a like, culturally specific set of horniness things. And, like, the Ferengi, and sometimes Klingons are horny for that, and sometimes they're horny for non-Klingons. And, like, it's just, there's just a realistic spread of, like, most sentient beings in the galaxy do sexual reproduction, and, like, just, there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of kinds of people out there, and most of them are DTF.
Yeah. Look, guys, the most popular, like, ship in the Deep Space Nine fandom is between a dude, a twink, and a gay lizard tailor. And that's just the show.
He's like a fucking 7-foot-tall lizard man.
Yeah, he has ridges on his neck, man. Like, he's a lizard. Yeah,
he has neck ridges, and, like,
that's
he's
the most
a lizard,
popular
and
ship.
and you know, it's just,
and he's a war criminal.
And, like, the horny, and he's a criminal. It's because he's a Bond girl.
Yeah.
He's a Bond girl, and Julian Basher is just like that anyway. Fucking Deep Space Nine.
I love Deep Space Nine.
Don't mind me. I'll be over here in the corner thinking about Kira Nerys and her cute nose ridges.
Beautiful. My wife. My other last thought on this is, like, it's sure wild that the prequel movie, on the note of, like, something being about something, it's wild to me that the prequel movies in Star Wars are now better than the sequel movies. Because, you know what? Again, say what you want about them. At least they're about something, especially to me.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith.
Are they occasionally a deeply clumsy commentary on the Bush years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah.
Are they also, like, making a very definitive political assessment and statement about the Bush years? Yes!
Yeah. Yes! I'd rather have that than, like, 2.5 hours of, oh, look, this person's back. Oh, look, this person's back.
I know,
oh, look,
right?
this person's back.
I don't need a cameo highlight reel.
Yeah, just one, please.
When I can have an actual, like,
just want Wedge and
occasional flashes of a real insight onto, like, the process of the rise of fascism.
Yeah.
Like, you know, George Lucas is many things that I don't like, but, like, you know, I think he has pretty okay politics.
Probably.
You know? I mean, the man was pretty clearly like, hey, I have some thoughts about how, you know, the current trends in American politics are making fertile ground for the rise of fascism. And he was right. And also, fucking, man, people fuck in the Star Wars prequels. Like, the fucking Hayden Christensen is, like, deeply uncomfortable in those movies because he just is Anakin's a huge creeper.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, he and Natalie Portman do, like, manage to look at one another as if they experience sexual desire. You know, they, like, do look at each other like two people who, like, enjoy fucking. Like, they're married and they look at each other like they are like, ah, yes, this is my husband who I see naked as often as possible. Like, I don't see him very often, but boy, we make good use of the time that we have. Whereas, like, I'm fucking thinking about the Avengers movies. Because Revenge of the Sith is PG-13, I think. I think it's PG-13. Yeah, it must be PG-13. Fucking all of the Avengers movies are PG-13. Okay, so, like, Tony Stark and Pepper Potts are, like, married, right? Those two people, or they're together, right? I don't know. I delete all of these movies as soon as I see
that's one of the
they're
points
not worth
that people,
the brain space.
I read reading that
Those are two people who do not want to fuck each other. Yeah, we came back to this because I'm still thinking about it. There is no sex there. Neither of those people, look like they have ever wanted to have sex with anyone, which obviously is, like, the reality for plenty of people, but that's not like that's what they're doing in Disney. They're just like, no one can experience desire for anything other than capitalist consumption.
Yeah. Like, the
only thing you can be horny about.
The horniest energy, money. The actor that they hired in that...
violence.
Oh, sorry. I cut you off.
No, go nuts.
The actor that they hired in all the Avengers movies who has the horniest energy is, unfortunately, historically, James Spader. And what is he doing in those movies? Oh, wait. He's playing a robot. Like, you get James Spader in there. I mean, it's just... He doesn't have to do anything. Like, he's just there, and it's like, it's gonna be uncomfortable, but, like, the man has the energy in a way that sometimes, like, I would rather have fucking that than, like, whatever the hell they're doing. I don't know. It's not like they can't do it. I'm just thinking about, like, it's
man,
just...
I've been watching Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, that is an animated television show geared at children. Like, animated Obi-Wan Kenobi is hornier than anything in the Star Wars sequels.
Well, that's
I mean,
just
like,
Obi-Wan.
and yes, well, that's just Obi-Wan, but, like, he's basically made out of Legos. Like, and you know, and then you've got, like, and then, obviously, I mean, in the Star Wars sequels, you've got Oscar Isaac and John Boyega just looking at each other, and you can tell that there's, like, they're trying really hard, but these movies are, like, no one can have sex ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was gonna talk about Supernatural this episode, but we've been recording for, like, an hour.
I mean, you still can talk about it for...
And I feel like it would be a weird... Okay, no, this is fair. Actually, I am gonna pivot here, because this is an interesting pivot. I have not seen any of the later seasons of Supernatural, but I've been, like... I mean, Leia's been telling me about them for the last couple of months, as she blew through the entire thing, and it would just tell me things that happened, and I would be like, babe, you know you could tell me, like, literally anything happened on Supernatural, and I would believe you, and she's like, yeah, I know, but the fucked up thing is I'm not gonna lie to you, because I don't have to. However bizarre you imagine this show is, it's worse. But, like... So, like, the part of Supernatural that I'm watching right now came out in, like, 2006 or 2007, right?
Yeah, season 2 was 2006,
like,
2007.
Yeah, so, you know, so they're, like, fairly old now.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you know, I don't watch horror movies, so I don't know if that's kind of, like, the last bastion of, like, horny energy in Hollywood or not. But, like, man, the early seasons of Supernatural are, like, fairly horny.
Very horny. Yeah.
And it's interesting to go back and watch them. Because they're an artifact of the time in so many ways, mostly aesthetic. Jesus, I understand that people want to go back to low-rise jeans, and I'm, like, watching season 2 of Supernatural, and I'm like,
oh, don't.
You cannot do that to me ever again.
Yeah, no.
I don't care if fucking people, like, teens on TikTok think I'm not cool. Newsflash, kids, I wasn't cool when I was your age either. I have never been cool. I'm not trying to be. I love how it's like, oh man, you're so uncool. And I'm like, yeah, kid, I was uncool when I was 16 too. Like, I know. This is not an insult. This is an observation. Like, I'm like, that's a value neutral observation, my man. Anyway.
The women's fashions on Supernatural are cool.
we are never going back to those fucking jeans that are just like, you, like, have to remove your pubic hair because otherwise it will be sticking out of the top of them. Anyway, to just, like, I don't know. It's been wild because I have been living my life, like, next door to Supernatural for 15 fucking years.
In some ways, quite literally.
yeah, I've been on the internet in online fan spaces the whole fucking time that Supernatural has been big, and I have experienced so much of it sort of involuntarily secondhand over the years. And it's weird to go back and watch it now, but because there's like certain things where I'm like, haha, you know, there's that moment that I've seen Gift 17,000 times. Or it's just, it's like, it's this thing that there's a version of it that exists in my head just from sort of ambient internet usage. And then like going back and watching it for real, it's somehow, I guess it's just like, it's exactly what I expected it to be in some ways, and it's just not in other ways.
Right.
That's just kind of fun, honestly. Basically, I'm having a really good time, and I think it's because I have no expectations. I don't want anything from this show. Really.
Yeah.
I am here to enjoy whatever it hands me, because I know that if I decide that I want anything specific from Supernatural, I can find exactly what I'm looking for in fic. Because, you know, 50 other people will have wanted exactly whatever it is that I'm craving and written it for each other.
Yeah.
There's 15 fucking years of, like, wildly intense fan output for this show. And also, it's just, it's fun because my girlfriend is introducing me to it, you know, and she kind of likes to give me little behind-the-scenes snippets, or, like, just, I get to kind of watch it with commentary, and it's just fun.
You said something...
And I can see... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
You said something very funny the other day when we were watching, I guess we were watching Devil's Trap and In My Time of Dying together. Maybe another episode as well.
Yeah.
Where Leia and I were just talking about, I think we were talking about the method that because we got into a whole thing about holy water, right? And then we were talking about salt circles and like like the holy fire that they used to trap the angels on. What episode is that? Oh, I think they first used it in that episode in season 5 when they trapped Raphael, or did they use it on Cass before? Like Leia and I were just like going off on some like things that happened in which episode. And you were like, is this what it's like to listen to me when we're watching Lord of the Rings? And just, like, going off about some, just, like, behind-the-scenes extra stuff. Because it's still, I mean, like, in a good way, like, a delightful way, like it is when you would do it. So I feel like having somebody around who is into that kind of thing, especially with Leia, because Leia's done the thing. For real. Just makes
she has done the whole bastard.
The whole thing. And I'm planning on doing that, but like, man, I am not there yet.
Oh my god, unreal. Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes it a more enjoyable experience.
Yeah, and I get to kind of... Yeah, I think really what it comes down to is just not wanting anything specifically from this show.
Right.
So I'm never going to be disappointed because I don't have any expectations. Which is just like I don't watch things like that in that way very often. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm gonna get into a show, like get into it, I will get kind of, you know, like, oh man, I really wish they had done something different with X, Y, or Z. And like I'll keep coming back to it, you know, even like, you know, seasons of TV later or episodes of an actual play podcast later or whatever. It'll kind of like, it'll just sit in my brain and I'll think, oh man, this could have been better if they had done this differently or whatever. I have nothing like that for Supernatural. Yeah. I'm just like, man, I'm just gonna let this fucking show happen to me. And occasionally my girlfriend is gonna bring up really hilarious, weird little facts about it. And I'm periodically gonna be like, wow, you can really tell that this is filmed outside of Vancouver, because that's like a 20-foot tall rhododendron bush.
I love it.
Which is something that happened the last time we were watching it. I was like, those are some big fuck-off rhododendrons. Damn. It's just, like, in the background, you know, because this is just what my brain is like. Yeah. But I feel like I'm sort of like, whatever happens, happens, and I will either enjoy it or I won't, but I won't be, like, bent out of shape about it, is, like, that's how I ended up feeling about, like, whatever was going to happen with the end of Campaign 2 of Critical Role. And I'm glad that, I don't know, maybe it's a getting older thing, or maybe it's that, like, so much more of my imaginative energies, and, like, I have so much more of such a better creative outlet in, like, my own tabletop stuff, that I kind of don't have to get bent out of shape about other people's storytelling choices when I have this space where me and my friends are making all of the storytelling choices. And, like, does that make sense? It, like, the tabletop, like, scratches that itch for me.
Yeah. Well, and also we're really good at it. I mean,
also, we're just, goddamn, we are really good at it.
As a team,
You're really good at it, too.
Fantastic. I learned so much from, God, how long have we been playing this now? This one game, like...
Oh, Monster of the Week,
2 years?
We've been playing for 2 years since Madeline joined. We were playing on and off before that. And we've been tabletopping together for, like...
long time.
Shit, since before I moved up here. So, like... We've been tabletopping together for, like, 6 years or something? Not always super consistently, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like the first game I ever played, I didn't understand what I was doing at all. And I think that was a fun test run for that. And for some reason, going into Monster of the Week with a real plan this time, that time around, that, like, made sense to me, and a real character that I wanted to play with. And then jumping into the story, because I wasn't there for the first, 4 episodes or something, at least.
Yeah.
4 episodes, 4 sessions. I think of them in my head as episodes sometimes, but I think that it was nice having that world already built, and I could, like, jump into that. And then being able to listen to y'all play, who play more consistently and have been playing for longer periods of time, and then learning to do the things that I'm not so confident at, like, combat. I feel like combat especially, I've learned so much how to do it, which I still can't do very well with Ben, because he's got problems. Ben, my character.
Yeah.
But to the point where when I play other characters, like, in the session that we played with Leo last week, and with Irene, another Monster of the Week character, and and Declan, like, they're so much more competent because I've learned my lesson about making characters who can do combat and how it can be helpful sometimes. But the important thing is like,
sometimes it can be fun to play characters who are completely useless in combat, but like, also sometimes it can be very frustrating to make characters who are completely useless in combat.
Yeah. It's such a rush to play Irene sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, I have like 3 weapons, and I have this, and whenever I play Ben, I'm like, did I bring my gun? Oh wait, I can turn into a werewolf. I don't want to do that though, because XYZ. Anyway, yes, you're right, 100%. I feel like the storytelling that we're able to do, like collaborative storytelling, is that with people that you like to hang out with. It always comes back around to D&D, doesn't it, somehow? Or RPG.
I mean, I have stated for the record that, like, honest to God, like 40% of my brain is just 5th edition D&D, and then there's like an additional 25% that's other tabletop systems. Do you know how often I try to, like, explain thoughts or concepts just using 5th edition mechanics, like, before realizing that not everybody just downloaded all of that shit into their... I did this to my dad the other day. I, like, opened my mouth to be like, it's like this, and I went, don't do that. He's gonna have no fucking idea what you're talking about, and also he's gonna give you that look that's like, you're my child and I love you, but, like, you are such a nerd.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
I don't know how to... I feel like that's a nice little button to this episode, which was about a number of things.
Yeah. It was about the fucking trial and absentia of JJ Abrams, but also, you know, like other stuff.
Yeah.
Like our podcasts always are. So, you know, thanks for sticking with us.
Thanks for sticking with
Anybody
us.
who's still listening.
Yeah. Happy Pride Month once again.
Happy Pride Month.
And...
Go watch something like go watch a queer story by a queer filmmaker.
Please do.
Like, just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Go love yourself. Don't go consume things that are not media about queer people made by straight people for straight people.
Unless you want to torture yourself like me and you want to watch, like, I don't know, the new Pixar movie, which is kind of gay, but not really, apparently. Anyway, don't have time to get into that bag of worms. Oh, okay. Yeah, Luca.
Oh boy, animated movie. There's so many animated movies out there, and they just keep making them, and I pay attention to functionally none of them.
Yep.
Anyway. All right.
Alrighty. I'll sign us out here.
Carry us away into the night, Helena.
Carry on, my wayward son.
Yep, there we go. I was like, I know there's a joke I'm trying to make here, and it's not working. Carry on, my wayward son.
Thank you, my wayward father. Thanks for hanging out with us here on Sneople at the Movies from the Infinity Break Network. Check out infinitybreak.net for more awesome content, and come hit us up on Twitter at people_snake. Our theme music was done by Johnny Ronaldo, who you can find at Johnny Ronaldo on Twitter. Our logo was designed by Bethany Luthold. Check her out at bethanyluthold.wixsite.com. If you've got a subject you want to hear us talk about, a movie you think we absolutely need to see, or you want to pay your respects to Divine but don't want to eat dog shit off the street, please don't do that. Come say hello. Also, if you can, please leave a review on iTunes and share the show with any of your friends and family members and, you know, co-workers and people that you meet on the street and you want to torture with thoughts on musical theater, and people who you just generally would think would enjoy it, and let us know what you think. We really appreciate it. As always, thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the movies.
Helena, if I'm your wayward father, I'm Bobby, not John Winchester.
Absolutely.